And we're live. So yeah, I'm just going to wait a minute for people to join, because last time I made the mistake of just going into it straight away. So I'll wait 30 seconds or so, and then I'll go for it. It does record, so if you miss any of it, you can come back and you can listen to exactly what I'm saying. So yeah, I'll give it 30 seconds or so, and then we'll get to it. If you are watching, could you give it a like as well, just so I can see who's watching and how many attendees I've got as well? That would be really appreciated. So what I wanted to do is, first of all, just thank everyone for the subscribers and just set a bit of context around where that's come from, because it seems a bit subscriber heavy. So what happens with YouTube is there's certain criteria that you need to meet, and one of them is you need 50 subscribers to allow you to go live on there. So what I'm wanting to do is get out there and go live on YouTube as well. But it's a real learning curve. So for example, the editing software. So I spent time with my daughter just editing videos over the weekend, and you might see that some of the clips have been edited. Now that came from my 13-year-old daughter. She was showing me how to do it. So it was a bit like the student teaching me how to edit videos. And then what's happened is, over the last 3 or 4 days, I've literally been trying to use the information that my daughters give us. Now, I've been messaging her quite a lot just to understand how to do different things. So how do you add text? How do you remove text? How do you put a different background in? And that in itself is a massive learning curve. So that's literally just been put on TikTok, Facebook, X, YouTube, etc. So the next phase is to go live on YouTube. Now, when I'm looking at some of the content creators on there, it's quite advanced, so I'm trying to work out the software. So the 50 subscribers will allow me to go live on YouTube, and then I can make a hash of that and then hopefully learn from it and get better from it. So just want to say thank you for that. Absolutely fantastic. So I'm still going to go with 1 minute per day. The thing that I've altered is I've stopped putting the inspirational clips on, just because I wasn't really getting much traction on that. So they're going to stop, and I'll just keep doing it a minute per day. But what's happened is I'm going to end up, give us 1 second, because I'm just reading the comments. Daryl's going to have to get his hair cut. Yeah, it is a mess. I totally agree. You need to get that sorted. So what's going to happen is, when I was saying the stuff that's happening in the background, so I'm trying to explain my brain injury story, which I will get to and tell a full story in this clip. But in the background, there's loads of things that's happening in my life that I'm like thinking I would love to do a video on that. But when you're doing 1 minute per day, it's very difficult to kind of explain other parts of your story, because you can't really go, right, okay, we'll drop the brain injury story and I'll tell you a story about something else. I put a clip on today, and the clip was all about if if I didn't get the 50 subscribers on YouTube, I was going to send this clip. And it looked completely random, because it was me going to the gym and doing 5 minutes on the row machine, 5 minutes on the bike, with me trying to put a spin on it. But there's a bit more context around there. So on Tuesday, I found out that I'll be representing Scotland at an international level at amputee football in November at Romania. So in the background, what I've done is I've done a training plan. And part of that training plan, which I would love to explain in these videos, but I've not been able to, is about playing walking football, doing crutch sprints, going to the gym, etc. So that's happening in the background, and I really want to share my fitness story, because when I get a focus like I am at the minute, I lose a lot of weight quite rapidly, and I'm training all the time. So I want to share that story, but that'll come. Don't worry about that. But what I really want to do is explain my brain injury story. So what's happened is, I'll come back to the training story. So something happened yesterday, and this just kind of sums up what's happening with me at the minute in terms of comedy, and everything just seems to be a bit of a comedy life. So what happened was, yesterday is I drove 15 minutes to go to a running track that I've been to before to practice crutch sprints. So I go down and it says you have to pay. So I'm thinking, hang on a minute, it's just a running track. Surely you don't have to pay. So it says you have to go in reception. So I go to reception and the guy says, oh, it's $4.99 for an hour. but we're not strict on the time. So I was like, look, mate, I've got one leg. I probably won't be able to do 15 minutes because crutch and sprinting's quite hard. So I said, no chance of my paying that. So I had to drive 15 minutes back. So I've not done any crutch sprinting this week. That's frustrating. No, I've not had a spray tan, Reese. I'm just naturally dark. My dad was, you know, like, what do you think? I'm white as a sheet. I've got freckly skin. Are you blind? Sorry, I'm just digressing a little bit. So back to my brain injury. Might be a bit of that. Back to my brain injury. So I'll just start from the beginning and I'll summarise quite quickly up until where I got to. So 2 legs when I was 18. What happened was I was playing football, and what's happened is I've went to run into the corner, and what's happened is, not known to me at the time, but someone's like pushed us, knocked us, and I've hit my head and my wrist off the wall. I've woke up in the ambulance not knowing where I am, and the simple questions which I joked about Mickey Barker's hairline and Ricky Brown's lips, the joke, that was the joke, but the actual questions was who do you support and what day of the week it was, and I just didn't know the answers. So he confirmed that I broke my wrist. He said it was like a U-bend. And what happened was I ended up going to the hospital. But by this time I'd woke up, I was fully aware. My friend had said, I kept just saying, when I couldn't remember, I kept saying I want to go home, because that's where all the medical science is. So of course I wanted to go home. So I went to the hospital, they scanned my head, and what they said was, we're going to inject your arm, wrist, and we're going to just straighten it out. It doesn't need a plate. So they injected it, he straightened it out. They says the cast place is closed, come back in the morning. Now, obviously I'd been playing football, it was quite late on. So my mum had said, do you want breakfast in the morning? And I said, of course. So what happened is I wake up on the morning and I'm the tiredest I've ever been, honestly. So my mum comes in, she's made us breakfast, toast. Must have took her ages, by the way. The way she was having a go at us, you would have thought it would. Only joking there, mum. Really appreciated that breakfast. So anyway, she brought us a coffee and the breakfast, and I says, look, mum, I'm the tiredest I've ever been. Leave me alone. We'll cancel the appointment. We'll just boot it for another day. So my mum's going mad because I'm not eating the breakfast that she's done for us. And she's saying, look, you stink. You're going to have to get in the bath. Another compliment there. Cheers for that. Obviously, I'd been playing football. So I was saying, leave us alone. I can't get up. I'm not getting up. I'm going to sleep all day. We'll sort it out another day. So at the time, my dad actually had to help me get in the bath. Bit weird. No, it's obviously, I was literally, my head was down and I was just trying to fall asleep. And I'm in the bath, actually against the bath like that, trying to go to sleep. And then what happened was, we went to hospital and there was no parking spaces, obviously. So they parked what felt like was a mile away. I'm walking down the street, looking a bit like Reese here, Reese Nicholson. Like falling asleep. I don't know if that's the right thing. Sorry, Reese, I'm just trying to be funny there. Walking down the street and I'm literally, my head's going down as I'm walking. We get into the waiting room and I'm literally falling asleep on the seats. So what happens is they get me into the room, and the guy who's I don't know, a specialist in reading X-rays, good job title that, looks at it and he looks straight away and he says, look, I've looked at the X-rays off last night and your son's got a cracked skull. Or he probably said to me, you've got a cracked skull, but I was asleep, wasn't I? Find them boring. So what happened was, he said, you've got a cracked skull. Blue flashing lights through to James Cook. What happened was, is they put us through an MRI scan. Now, I'm still that tired that I'm saying, just leave us alone. The woman's putting us through the MRI and she's saying, your phone's ringing in your pocket. I says, I don't have a phone. Just leave me alone. Because I'm really, really tired. And she's saying, look, you have. Now, you won't remember this, but back in the day, if you blocked your phone, you needed something called a PUK code. Someone put the code in wrong 10 times. Not blaming anyone, ma'am, probably. 10 times, and it blocked my phone, so I lost all my numbers. That was frustrating. Especially when this was about to happen. So what they found out was I had a blood clot on my brain. So what they did is they had to operate. So what they do is they drill a hole through your skull, they take the blood clot out the brain, then they patch it back up, as you can see. Big scar. It starts from there, actually. Big scar. And then what happened was I was in hospital for a week. Now, if you remember back, I broke my wrist. So obviously I didn't get it cast. Bit more serious things than a broken wrist, maybe. But what they did is they says, right, we'll get you cast within the week. So I was in hospital. I remember being in intensive care when I came round, and I was fully continence mentous, or whatever it's called, easy for you to say. And I was actually asking for food and beans on toast, etc. So I was absolutely fine. And then what happened was, when I went to lift a knife and fork, the knife just literally flew out my hand because I had no strength in that wrist. Really good, James Evans. I hope you were well. Thank you for liking all my stuff, by the way. I appreciate it. Keep the darts coming. What happened was, in my head, I thought my wrist was fully strengthened, but it wasn't. Obviously, it was weak, and I was in hospital a week. So they cast my arm, and within a week I was out of hospital. Now, what happened was I had a bloodshot eye, and my head looked massive. Perfect hair wasn't like that. It was, you can imagine, it was up here. Can imagine. And what happened was, I went through a 3-month rehabilitation period. So what that meant was just, you know, taking it easy, not being strenuous, trying not to put yourself under stress. What 18-year-old has stress, but yeah. And I was off work for a 3-month period. And after the 3 months, I was able to go back to work. I was able to do normal things. So yeah, it was really positive. And I was actually playing football after 3 months. Probably stupid now, but I'm football mad, as you can tell, because everything's football related. You all right, Julie? How's it going? So yeah, that's kind of the brain story. Now, since then, the way I think is quite unique. Now, I've asked my friend about this, and he says his words were, you were a knob before and you were a knob after. So maybe it hasn't changed my way of thinking, and maybe it has. But that's one of the stories that I want to share with you. Now, a year later, I go and have me amputation, crash, lose my leg in a car crash. So I had a couple of bad years there where really I probably shouldn't be here, and I was very lucky. If I hadn't have broke my wrist, I wouldn't have been here, and a lot of you will have seen the car, and I shouldn't have been alive. I don't know if you've still got the picture, Julie, of when I come round and with the bloodshot eye and the massive head, small now. I don't know if you've got the picture, but that'll be good. If I can get hold of that, I'll try and share that. But yeah, that's the brain injury story. Now, what this video's done, it's allowed me to tell that story quite quickly. And then what I can do is I can just do the 1-minute things, and I can focus more on my fitness and the targets that I'm setting. So I've set a weight loss target. I've set, obviously, specific parameters of what I'm going to do throughout the week, a diet plan, etc. So I'd like to share a bit of that with you and share my journey up until November, when I go away to Romania to represent Scotland at the Nations League, and share the results with you. Good, bad or indifferent, because we've had 2 weekends of shocking results. It's knocked me confidence a little bit, to be fair. 11-0. What's all that about? One of the walking lads had turned around and says, well, you're playing for a blind team, which, you know, I took in the right jest, but I can kind of understand with the scoreline. So yeah, there's plenty of work to do from me. Plenty of work. There's one more story, and I kind of owe someone an apology. So one of my stories on here, I called someone an old biddy, and one of the ladies on the team who's older than her has seen my video. So she kind of mentioned the comment, and I was playing Wharton football, and it kind of got mentioned yesterday. So she's not an old biddy. She looks absolutely stunning, young as out, looks 30s to me. So just wrong terminology. She looked absolutely wonderful. So yeah, Caroline, totally sorry what I said about Sue. You both look amazing. And yeah, I just wanted to put that out there. So you've got this on video as well. So kind of that's me. I've explained the Nations League, which I'm really excited about, and now I can start explaining more of my fitness stuff. And yeah, I've explained the brain story. So that's me for today. Wow, not being held to a minute. I feel like I've got the free reins off. So what'll happen is, when I close this down, I'll get a copy of this, and what I'll do is I'll paste it to the different social media. But feel free to watch it, share it, like it, comment, and I'll comment back. And I want to make stuff more interactive, but at the moment I feel like I'm just trying to get my story out there, and then we can flip it and it can be a bit more interactive once you get to know me and what I'm thinking and the journey I've been through. So I've explained the leg story and the brain story. Is there any more stories? So yeah, cheers Gavin, like your support there. World touring coming. Yeah, I struggle to get out to see him, but yeah, World's coming. So yeah, thank you very much. I'm going to close it there, everyone. Thanks for watching. And yeah, peace out. If that is a word. Bit weird. See you later.